Hi everyone, welcome to Tony Fox Tarot and thanks for joining me today. Great to have you with me. Today's reading is a future outcome in terms of your relationship or connection with this other person. What's going on? Where's it all heading to? And what is the future between the both of you? Now, we'll break that down by looking at the other person, get an understanding of who it is that they are by tapping into their thoughts and their feelings and their circumstances. And we'll also do the same for you in terms of your connection to this person. And most importantly, what's the timeline here? Where's it all going? What are the future outcomes between the both of you? Now, before we get started, if you would like to go down below and hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon while you're there. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. Please like and share this video where you can. And if you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. Now, before you on the screen, we've got 5 different cards, and the idea is to choose a card that resonates with you really strongly, and that will be your reading. It's perfectly fine to choose more than one card that comes to really strongly for you. Just remember, this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave behind anything that doesn't. We've got card 1, card 2, card 3, card 4, and card 5. Now, to get you in the mood to make a choice for your card, a quick guided meditation. Now, feet firmly on the ground and taking in a single nice deep breath. And as you release the breath, just letting go of any tension that you might be holding from within. Clearing the mind. And focusing in on the cards before you here on the screen. Which of these cards resonates with you most strongly? Is it card 1, card 2, card 3, card 4, or card 5? Down below, there are 5 different timestamps representing each of these cards. If you would like to go to the card that you chose, I'll be with you in a moment. Hi everyone, welcome to card number 1, and this is a reading that is looking at where the connection between the both of you are going. So what is the future for the both of you? Now, cards are on the table and I'm ready to jump in, and I'm drawn straight down here to the Hierophant and the 10 of Swords, and I feel that in the past you've certainly been let down by this person. I think it's left you feeling quite crushed in terms of what you thought was possible. I think you were hoping for a trusting commitment that would actually lead to perhaps either marriage or some sort of, like formal sort of tying of the knot in a way where, the both of you had common ground where it was sort of mutually respectable and certainly with the idea to really be there for each other, for the long term. And something's happened there that's really left you reeling in a way where you felt betrayed or stabbed in the back, or at best just completely let down. And I think that's just really knocked the wind out of your sails in a way where you feel that perhaps, that was irreconcilable in some ways. I don't think that's something you've ever really gotten over. But at the same time, I think, you've understood what you've had to work with in a way where you've decided to move forward with this person. And, the Hierophant is all about love in the traditional sense of marriage and commitment and tying the knot. It's about binding agreements between people. And the 10 of Swords is a card of defeat, of betrayal, of being let down by another person. I think it's also been a successive number of instances that have really led to that particular point too. I don't think it was just something in isolation. And I think accumulatively you felt really let down. But if I come up here to the Devil and the Ace of Pentacles, I felt that this person had tried really hard, to work towards giving you something to work with in terms of a new beginning. I think they've been really sort of quite desperate for that. Very motivated, but this is a very ambitious type of person. I think they seem to be very motivated by money. I think quite a material person. my sense was that they kind of feel like everything can be bought. And in some ways, maybe even including people, which kind of leads me to think, do they think that they can buy your love? Or I think at times they can be very insensitive. They're very driven, very ambitious, but they're also very material. And I think they can be very driven by the idea of either profit or selfish needs, most certainly. You know, the devil is a materialistic card. It can be very narrow-minded, very self-centered, very controlling card as well. And it's paired with the Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles is about new financial beginnings, but it's also about new beginnings that have something solid to work with. And I do feel, you know, because the devil is definitely a driven card. I feel this person has really been driven to sort of, you know, to get back up on the horse and to sort of, you know, to sort of move forward in a way that gives you both something to work with in terms of grounding the relationship. I think in their mind they've actually had the right intention, but what I'm not feeling here is the heartfelt nature of what it means to get back with you in a way where things are reconciled at maybe a more emotional tie. I think for this person, you know, there's a lot of suffering in this connection, because this person is very they are very financially opportunistic. Everything seems to be very sort of, you know, materially orientated, and that just says to me, I think there's a lot of insecurity there, to be honest with you. That they're not looking down into a deeper level. But, you know, where have things come to? You know, because at the moment, the Sun and the Ace of Cups, they've kind of moved through this into a place of really, for the first time, really being emotionally available or connected for the first time. I think up until this point, they haven't been. They seem to be like full of promises too, to make things better. I think they want a new beginning, like a whole new beginning, maybe a whole new life, maybe to move somewhere else. At the very best, a new beginning at an emotional level where things are much happier between the two of you. This idea about children seems to be very strong for them too. The Sun is a strong card around children, and the Ace of Cups is about receptivity. So the idea of, you know, having children, you know, as a part of a new beginning or a new life is a big part of the picture for them in terms of their focus at the moment. I think also this is somebody who's really wanting to grow on from what's happened in a way where I feel that they've come out of their shell and they are more receptive emotionally. I think they want more from life. I think that they've begun to see that they have been very superficial, and the way they've been acting has not been connecting to you in a way that actually gives a sustainable emotional connection, that things need to be happier. The Sun is a card of happiness. So it's, you know, very high vibrational in terms of the idea of joy and fulfillment through light and meaningful, I guess, connection at a much more sort of well, especially around children, but most certainly around the idea of happiness, you know, security through happiness and emotional fulfillment, you know. So they are on the right page at the moment, and I think they're really sort of offering, you know, a way forward to sort of really connect in and to start a new life that's really much more orientated around fulfillment on an emotional level. Definitely wanting to have children. Well, they do seem to have come out of their shell. I kind of feel like almost like this person has been through a bit of a spiritual crisis, to be honest with you. I think, you know, coming back here to the Devil and the Ace of Pentacles, very driven, very profit orientated, really almost quite greedy and very selfish at times, and just deferring everything to a very kind of material view in a way that really is kind of dog eat dog. Not a lot of love there for other people, but also not a lot of love there for themselves. And I think they've also realized they've actually driven this connection to the brink of failure. They've really responded to the way you have felt completely let down by them. And they've kind of offered you something to work with in a way to move things forwards, but at you know, maybe in the beginning, just kind of like really going back into a default sort of insecurity stance that doesn't really that really doesn't wash, you know, that really doesn't resonate for you. And they've realized pretty quickly that, you know, they've had to step things up. My sense is this person does actually really love you. very sensitive individual person deep down, but not at all comfortable to express their feeling in some ways. But they're finally at a point where I think they're starting to come out of their shell. If I come down here to Judgment and the Knight of Swords, for me though, I mean, if I look at where you're at, this is down here is you, up here is the other person. You know, you're at a crossroads, you know, having to make decisions about whether this is really what you want. I think you're still very angry about what it is that happened. I think you're indecisive about what to do next. The Knight of Swords is a card of indecision. It's also a card of frustration that boils up into anger. Judgment is a card of really taking stock as to where things are at in a way where you reflect on the past and learn by your mistakes in order to move forwards. And I think for you, you know, you're really stuck on everything that happened leading up to this particular point. And I think you're still very frustrated. I don't feel like you've been heard. I don't feel like you've had an opportunity to tell your, for want of a better word, story, your experience perhaps in a way where you've been listened to. This person is just offering solutions to move forward. I don't think that they've actually moved into a place where they've really kind of emotionally opened up within themselves and kind of step things up to kind of like, I guess, mature at a pace that could catch up to where you're at and to be able to offer you a lifeline that actually really is about sort of linking in, hearing your experience and validating it. I think that's for me. They're just offering opportunities to move forward, ideas that are about the big picture, you know, moving on into the future, a whole new life, which is based around fulfillment, maybe having children, about maybe living somewhere else, you know, about, you know, feeling better, feeling happier. Where's the plan? And where's your experience with this person, you know, actually living that in the past? So for me, I kind of feel you are in a very different place to where this person has been, because, you know, you've suffered quite a lot, you know, at the, I guess, the selfishness of this person, their lack of sensitivity is what really shines through for me here. This is a very sensitive person, but they're also very insensitive. You know, that sensitivity may lay very deeply within them, but there's a lot of compensatory stuff going on there in terms of how they behave, and it can be very, very bad behavior. You know, where's this going? Coming over here to the world, and the the 8 of Swords. I feel that this person is sort of like really wants to succeed in this relationship, yeah, in this connection with you. But this whole insecurity concept really flares back up again, you know, and it feels to me that they really feel the world is against them, that it's everybody else against them. There's this sense of feeling persecuted, and the problem really is about everybody else. It's got nothing to do with them. They kind of withdraw into this mindset, and what they do is they cut off emotionally. There's this really sort of divorced nature of how they think and how they feel. The feelings are suppressed, the sensitivity is pushed down, and then this idea about conflict, you know, according to everybody else and what everybody else does to them rises up, and they kind of defer back to this old programming. You know, the 8 of Swords is a card of persecution, of feeling that you've been cornered. And the world is about success and fulfillment and wanting to connect. You know, this person's not connecting with what's going on in the world. They're not connecting with other people. They feel that the world is against them. And they feel helpless to be able to do anything about it. They feel that it's not them. It's got nothing to do with them. It's about everybody else. And if you know, the Swords are cards of the past. And if you look back to the past, you know, it points back to their past behavior, which is the Devil and the Ace of Pentacles. They've become really desperate in terms of you know, their behavior again. Everything becomes really material. They become very insensitive to people. They start to try and fill all the gaps with money and security, and, you know, everything else comes first on a kind of material level. You know, relationships suffer as a consequence. I feel this person puts their material desires before you. and before other people. And if I come down here to the Hangman and the Four of Pentacles, I feel these two cards reflect you in terms of where you're at as a person leading into the future in response to how this person is behaving. And my sense is that you're just pulling back. You're pulling back in a way where you close down. It's like you're just not giving to them anymore. You're really trying to figure out what it is that you need to sustain yourself, what it is that you need to do to consolidate your position in a way where you feel secure. The Four of Pentacles is a card of it's a card that reflects the consolidation process. It's also about hanging on to your energy and grounding yourself, protecting yourself from others, from the world. It's certainly a money of security. It's really about looking to get finances in place so that you can actually stand on your own 2 feet. It's coupled with the Hangman, and the Hangman is a card of perspective, looking at things from a different view. It's certainly about stopping the flow of energy. It's about restricting things. I mean, the Hangman is in a restricted pose. They are upside down, blood is rushing to the head, so it's very meditative and at the same time very yogic. It's about, changing things up in a way where you really sort of try to sort of master a new view of what's going on in your world. And that's very much about your independence, doing things your own way. I think you're quite a creative person. I think you do have a unique perspective. I think that you are sort of being driven to a point where you're looking to understand what it is that you need to do to get back up on your own 2 feet in a way where you are in a healthy, consolidated position with an understanding as to what's going on, so that you can succeed, without being pulled down under by the suffering of this other person in a way that really just kind of doesn't see, and as I say, I feel this person definitely really loves you quite deeply. I think this person has very mature feelings for you. But I feel that you have been sort of, consistently pulling back in a way where it's just leading you to a point that you don't feel that there is sufficient resolution to move forward in this connection. And I feel that you will be the one that actually pulls the rug out from underneath this particular connection, and that you will essentially end it in a way where you have nothing left to give to it anymore. Now, I'm pulling a final card here. Free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. And I feel that, I talked, just a brief time ago about your individuality, your uniqueness, your creative perspective. I think that you are somebody that needs to be supported in a way that really allows this to flourish, because I kind of feel like the air has been taken out of the room with this other person, and that it all becomes about them and about their selfish needs, and that you are suffering quite deeply as a consequence. There is more out there for you in terms of you being able to free yourself and to realize who it is that you are. And I kind of get a sense that there is something there within you that needs to stand on your own 2 feet in order for you to fully realize what it is that you can do creatively, what is it you can do on your own. You have a unique point of view that needs some space to thrive independently, and you have something to offer the world that really is coming from a unique point of view. So for me, it's definitely about freeing yourself. It's time to take control of your life, time to take back control of your life. I hope this reading has made some sense to you, and if it has, please feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon. If you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. And just on a final note, I release videos each and every week to YouTube, so feel free to browse the ones that I've already posted and keep an eye out for those on the horizon. Thank you. Take care. Hi everyone, welcome to card number 2, and this reading today is about a relationship future with the other person, or the connection with this other person. What's the future for the both of you? And we've got the cards on the table, and I'm ready to jump in with this one. So I'm drawn straight up here to the Tower and the Queen of Swords, and I feel that this other person is very withdrawn at the moment in a way where there's a lot of suffering going on. They feel very deeply hurt. My sense is that this connection or relationship is not happening just at the moment. I get a feeling actually that you're the one that's pulled the plug. And that this other person is really feeling like they've had the rug pulled out from underneath them, and that everything is just in a state of spiral, really. Nothing is making sense to them. They don't know which way is up. They're really clambering to try and get a perspective on what's going on. And this has brought up a lot of hurt, a lot of suffering for them in a way where they essentially are just really trying not to go there in their mind. So I felt that this person has blocked you. Maybe they're not responding to you or to messages or texts or to calls or to emails. Perhaps they're avoiding you. They don't want to have anything to do with anybody or anything at the moment. They just really need to get their head on their shoulders in a way where they can really get some perspective. And I think for me, this thing about figuring out which way is up is very strong. The Tower is a card of complete decay. Things are falling to the ground. Everything's falling to the ground around your ears. And, often when the Tower comes up, or whenever the Tower really comes up, it does actually bring things to sort of ground zero in a way where it has to happen because the pressure's been building and building and building. Nobody has actually been looking at what has been going on in a way that gives it resolution in a truthful way. And, it's a situation that has to happen one way or the other. And if I look more to the past, the Magician and the Six of Swords, I can see why this person feels so hurt. I think that they felt very motivated by this connection or this relationship. They've seen an enormous amount of potential in what it has to offer in terms of a future. And I think they've been very proactive or supportive in trying to make this happen in a way where the two of you are on the same page and moving in the right direction. So I think they've really tried hard to get on track. The Magician is the card that is about striking things into action. It sees the potential in an opportunity to initiate a beginning with it in a way. And, it uses everything that it has in terms of trying to make that into a reality. It's all about manifestation. So I think this person just felt very intuitively that this is the right connection for them and for you, and that they see this potential, and they've really given it everything that they could possibly give it in order to make it happen. The Six of Swords is a card of troubled times, and there's definitely conflict there, but it's also about trying to steer things into calmer waters so that the two of you have, or that you have the opportunity to reflect on the kind of conflict that's going on in your world. And often it also can mean the idea of support from a third party. So perhaps in this particular case, this person has really seen the potential of where this is going. Maybe they've steered it in a direction to get some sort of, counseling or support, or to confide in friends or family, or to bring in a third party, such as a counseling process, to really help this through in a way that actually, steers it to realize the fuller potential. I kind of feel that this person is a very motivated individual, very, very, very good looking person who is really all about realizing possibility and potential. I think that they're very proactive and very hardworking. I think this is a very intelligent person who is really all about the big picture in terms of wanting to succeed. There's a high degree of control here, though. I have to say, this person has suffered quite a lot. The Queen of Swords is a card that reflects an individual who has been through difficulties, been through challenges, and realizes that the world isn't perfect, that there is suffering, and that not everything always turns out the way you would like it, and that they are a realist in as much as that they are prepared to take risks that may not go in the right direction, and which will cause suffering, but they will assimilate that into their being. You know, they're quite balanced in their view in terms of their understanding of what the world is all about and how things can go for better or for worse. So for me, I get a really good feeling about this person. I don't think that they've been unrealistic in terms of their expectation. I think they've been very perceptive and receptive to you, and perceptive of the potential of this relationship, motivated to try and steer it in the right direction. They've given it everything that they possibly can. I think this is somebody who has a lot of know-how and has tried very, very hard. But I can see here with the Tower, things have not gone according to plan, and things have really spiraled into decay. And as far as there's just no stability, there's no foundation at this point in time for the two of you to really make the go of it. To succeed. But I've come down here to the Chariot and the Eight of Swords. I feel these two cards reflect your line of action, the top line being the other person. And I feel that you have felt motivated to try and give this a go, but I think that you've really not seen the same sort of potential. I think part of you has been pushing this to sort of really to reach a successful outcome, but at the same time, I think that you felt that perhaps you haven't had full control over what's going on in a way where you could actually steer it in the direction that you would like it to go. The Eight of Swords is a card where you feel that perhaps you are being manipulated or controlled by other people. Perhaps you felt manipulated, controlled by this particular person to actually succeed in this relationship where you felt that it really couldn't. So perhaps you felt forced to go along with the view of the other person in a way. The Chariot is definitely a card of determination, of trying to succeed in a way where you must use willpower to actually get an outcome that is really favorable. So I think you're a very driven individual. But it's coupled with the Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Swords is really quite the opposite to that. It's a card that doesn't feel that it has control. It doesn't feel that it could succeed. It feels like it has its hands tied behind its back. So in some ways, maybe you've just been going along with this, going along with the ride, and that you haven't had full faith in its potential as a relationship or a connection, and you haven't had the ability to sort of have to get a clear vision as to where you really see that this could go. And that's quite opposite to what the other person is all about. They've seen the potential. They've been very motivated. They've tried to steer things along in a way where I think they've tried to control it. No doubt about that. I think they've really tried to put this on track. And you've kind of gone more or less along with the sort of flow. And I think it has come to a point here with the Empress and the King of Swords where I think you've decided to take control. The King of Swords is all about standing not on your own 2 feet. It's more a card of taking control. But it's the ultimate control. It's really about cutting everything out of the picture. The Empress is a card of productivity and industrious results. I kind of feel that for you, you've just not seen the potential to actually get anything beneficial out of this particular connection. And that you've also felt a high degree of insecurity with this person. I think there's a lot of conflict between the two of you. I think the two of you are possibly struggling against each other to take control in a way where one of you is always ahead of the other. I think this could be a very competitive relationship. The King of Swords and the Queen of Swords, these are both insecure archetypes. These are both insecure energies. They've both suffered in the past, and that's led them to feel very vulnerable as people. And I think the two of you have had a lot of experience in perhaps bad relationships or situations where you've given trust over to another person and it hasn't gone according to plan, and it's left you feeling very vulnerable and insecure as a result of that. And I think for you, either way, you've just made the decision that this is not what you want. You've pulled the plug on it, and the other person's really suffered as a consequence. And so the two of you are now at a point where things are in a state of collapse. I feel that both of you have really isolated from each other, that you're not giving anything to each other. What really strikes me about what I'm seeing with all of these cards here is that I don't see any cups. I'm not seeing any feeling. I'm seeing a lot of thought-based energy that's really coming from the swords, which is all about, our mindset and insecurities. And I think the two of you have really divorced yourselves from how you really feel about each other. And so it's really been quite easy to get to this point for you in particular. I think the other person perhaps has felt, more motivated to get this on track. But, I'm not seeing either one of you really coming from a loving place that actually says, look, I'm really connected with you at a heartfelt level, and I feel a lot of love for you. In fact, I don't feel the love anywhere. I think this is why the two of you have gone in very different directions, because it's all been very heady and very competitive and really based on a lot of insecurity. But where is it going? At the end of the day, I feel that this other person is going to allow some time to pass. And I felt that would be a few months. Really it's about, a process of consolidation for them. I think that there is also an opportunity for them to reconnect with you in a number of months. So in around 2 months, I felt that they would have recovered from this particular situation and that they would be ready to reconnect with you and that they would actually reach out. The Two of Pentacles is a card of opportunity. It's about two, different energies coming together to really unify in a way that, makes it a full potential. The Wheel of Fortune is a card of the future. It's about our fate. It's about where things are going. So it's also, a timeline that marks a period of time. So for me, I felt that there was a period of time of a number of months before this person would really feel that they could see the potential and where this is going again. We've got the infinity sign over here. And if we look back to the past, we've got the infinity sign over here. This person has seen the potential in this relationship and where it could go. And they can see the potential in it again in the future. So they won't give up on you. I feel that this person will put it back out there in a way where they will reach out to you and make an offering of some sort of, a peaceful resolution to reconnect in a way that really engages with you to show you where things can go. And I think that the thing is for me is that you will respond in a way where you'll be quite blasé about it. I think that you'll act very cool. You'll be receptive to listen to them in a way where you'll understand what it is that they're actually showing you in terms of the potential of where this could go if you reconnect. The Fool is a card of new beginnings. It's an instinctual card that really is about a road less traveled. I think by this point, you're very much doing your own thing, going along your own path. I think you're happy because you're not restricted by any responsibility or feeling weighted down to be answerable to anybody in any way, shape or form. And it's coupled with the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands is really about a card that is mapping the future in terms of where things can go. It's about planning and initiating the next response to take action. So I think for me, I kind of feel that you'll have a fresh perspective as to where things can go in response to this other person reaching out to you. But I think you're going to be playing it really, really cool. I think this person is definitely more motivated. They certainly see the potential as to what the both of you can share together. But for me, you're the cool player here. You're the one that really has initiated an end to where things are going. I think there's a lot of insecurity for you based on your past experiences with other people in terms of relationship. I don't think you want to be hurt. I think that's the case also for this person, but I think that they've assimilated that experience at a much deeper soul level in a way where they understand that nothing is perfect. They're prepared to take a risk. They want to be involved. And despite the fact that everything has come undone, they'll recover from that in a way where they will really put things back together and want to take this forward. The final card, just to reflect on this in terms of, the potential to where this can go, chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here, and I can see that really strongly, especially here with the Two of Pentacles. The two of you, I think, have been orbiting around each other for a really long time. I think that they're going to continue to happen in a way where this potential is going to arise once again. And I don't think that that will be the last time that will happen either. I think if you decide not to go down this particular path and the ball is in your court, I think the potential will rise back up again, because there's something really strong here in terms of a connection. The magnetic force is going to continue to draw you both together. The one thing you really need to understand here is that the swords are all about our inner conflict. Okay, the both of you have issues to work through, and you can work through those issues together. Ultimately, it comes down to trust. At some point, if you're going to have a relationship with another person based on magnetic attraction, you are going to have to surrender to the process of trust. If this reading has made some sense to you, please leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. If you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about me, who it is that I am, and what it is that I do. And on a final note, I release videos each and every week to YouTube, so feel free to browse the ones that are already posted and keep an eye out for those on the horizon. Thanks very much and take care. Hi everyone, welcome to card number 3. This is a relationship direction reading. So where is this connection going? What's the outcome? Does it have a future? Now, I've got the cards on the table and we've got the top line, which is the other person, and the bottom line, which is you. And I'm ready to jump straight in, so let's get started. And I'm going to start down here with you, leading up to this particular point. I think you've had a lot of worries about where this is all going. I feel like you've been through a really soul-searching time, lots of contemplation, really delving deep from within yourself to really figure out how you feel about this person. And, as a part of that process, I think, you've unearthed some really shaky material in terms of feeling perhaps that things are just not heading in a confident direction as far as the connection with this person is concerned. I think also you're a very instinctual individual. My sense is that you perhaps even had quite a psychic drive. You really figure things out, as a part of your process by really thinking about it, but also feeling it through. And, I think you trust that instinctual process in a way where you validate, your decision-making process. Queen of Cups, it's a card of love. For me, I feel you really love this person, that you feel very deeply for them. But something else comes through with that. I feel also there's a real supportive focus there in terms of you giving a lot to this person. I think you worry about them and you worry about where they are going. So there's a great deal of care, a lot of love, a lot of compassion. I think you feel very empathetic to this person. And I think, it's not just about them, actually. It's also about you and where you're going, what you're doing. I think this is quite a deep period of time that I'm identifying here, leading up to this particular point. The moon is a very, once again, it's a very instinctual card. It really validates our instinctual process, but it also points to a depressive period, feeling very down, very low energy. The moon stirs the unconscious mind, and so, the bottom of the pot comes up in a way that can be a little bit soupy, a little bit murky. It really unsettles us in terms of our process, and I think that you've had a lot to filter through, a lot to try and figure out in terms of what's going on with this other person. Coming up here to the Empress and the Nine of Swords, and this other person has really, as a sort of mirror reflection in terms of their process, I think they've been very worried about where it's all going. There's a lot of fear projecting into, a future where things are not going either according to plan or where the outcomes are going to be favorable in terms of the two of you being together. I think that they actually fear for the worst in terms of the connection with you. It's coupled with the Empress, and the Empress is a high-yielding card. It really points to generating activity, and that activity drives the Nine of Swords, which is a very fearful process of not feeling that you have control of things. It tends to think the worst of everything. And, it's quite debilitated. So I feel that this person has been unproductive in terms of what they've been bringing to the relationship or the connection with you. You've been very worried about a lot of different issues, not just about what's going on between the two of you. I think that they've been going through a difficult time in their life. I wonder whether they were also very worried because they weren't producing. And when I say that, producing what? I mean, perhaps this person's lost their job, or they don't feel that they can actually contribute to the relationship in a constructive way from a practical point of view in terms of the structure of navigating and planning the relationship. So it could be material, it could be practical, it could be also emotional, feeling that things are out of control. They're at the mercy of their worst fears. They're paralyzed by them. So it kind of makes a bit more sense to me as to why maybe you're so sympathetic to this person. Maybe this person's been having a very difficult time for a very long time. You identify on an empathetic level. You want to give them care. You want to help them, to support them. But that worries you because that's not what this relationship should all be about. I think it's been quite consuming for this person. The Empress is also a card of motherhood. Children, the childbearing process, feeling maternal. I'm wondering if this person has been very worried about the idea maybe of having kids or being able to support having kids for some of you. That might be the case. But this is also a mother figure, and I'm wondering whether a lot of the issues here that I'm seeing stem back for this person from their childhood. Perhaps there are issues that are haunting them that are to do with their mother or to do with a parental figure from their childhood. Also, just another final thing here, the failure to produce result. I'm wondering also if there's a theme here in terms of failed relationships for this person. That they can't break through this programming that's inbuilt into them to fail in terms of having a relationship. Coming over here to the Emperor and the Seven of Cups, I feel that you have a lot of mixed feelings as to where things are going between the two of you. I think your ambitions to reach a summit of success where the outcomes are very constructive, I think you're feeling at the moment that that's just not a clear process to how to realize that. I think you're going through a process of trying to figure out what it is that you want, and you're just not sure. The Emperor is a card that is about ambition. It's about reaching the summit, but it's also about the structure of things. And so in this particular case, it could be to do with the structure of the relationship. Perhaps you're not feeling clear about being able to reach the summit of success in this relationship, and that you've lost faith in the structure of how things are between the both of you. Coming over here to the Hermit and the Six of Wands, I feel that this person has been holding out for a really long time, in terms of the process of this particular relationship. I feel they've been wanting success. They've been trying to find a way to get a successful outcome, and that it's been a real struggle for them. I don't feel this is a person who has a lot of confidence. I feel that things don't come easily to them in terms of being able to realize outcomes that, give them a sense of validation or approval. The Six of Wands is a card of success. It's a card of acknowledgement, other people seeing that you're doing really well, either in a field of work or in a situation that actually gives you a successful outcome. So that part's clear, but the Hermit is a card of process in terms of self-reflection, and, it's really about a card of self-realization. I think there's a lot of struggle in the Hermit in terms of trying to reach a summit that actually identifies liberating outcomes that give you light and shed truth on what's going on. And I think this person has been through a very long, struggling journey to figure out how to make a success with this relationship. Yeah, it's never really quite clear to them, but they're always trying to gain the acknowledgement or validation from yourself to really give them, a constructive grab that they're actually doing everything right. Now, what's really clear to me here is that you have a lot of love for this person. Despite everything that's going on, you are there for them, and the connection is at a really evolved level in terms of the maturity of your feelings. But what I don't see from this other person is a reflection of that love. What I get from them is a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety, a lot of struggle. There's a real there's a real dependency there from them in terms of their need to be supported. They're always looking at things through fearful eyes. They're always projecting the worst possible outcome. They seem very out of touch with how it is that they really feel, whereas they're very much in touch with what it is that they're thinking, and what they think is a lot of negativity, and they become very paralyzed through their fear. And as a consequence, they're always struggling to try and climb this mountain that really reaches a summit of validation, where they can be seen to be successfully arriving at an outcome. That's really, really difficult, because you're both on very different pages. And I kind of get this sense that you are more in a caring capacity, a caring role that is supporting this other person. And that as a consequence, you have a lot of mixed feelings as to whether your ambition to reach a loving connection with them is really possible. Where is this going? What's the outcome in terms of this relationship? Coming over here to Justice and the Eight of Wands, I feel that this person is really just going to go with the flow here, that they can't really make a decision to delve deeper into their feelings or to figure out how to navigate this relationship in a way that takes it towards a successful outcome. Really, they're just at the mercy of whatever way the wind blows in terms of the direction between the both of you, but also as to how they may feel from one day to the next. The Eight of Wands is a card of good news. It's about waiting for good news to come through, but it's also about change for the better, where your life heads in a new direction that really is more about a catalytic point of time that pushes you in a more positive direction. Justice is a card of looking to the past and trying to assess what's going on in a very truthful and fair manner, arriving at fair and just observations in order to make an assessment so that you can move forward. I just don't feel that person's successfully doing that. They're really waiting for that good news to come through, which is more about further validation, or the fact that you want to be with them in a way that validates the direction for them in terms of their life. So for me, this person will continue on in the same manner, in a way where they're just flapping in the wind, really. And I feel that is a very disempowered or unempowered position for them. It's really about external influences pushing them in the right direction. I don't feel this person has their feet solidly on the ground and I don't feel that they're in touch with their inner process to validate how they really feel about you in a way that sort of stands up and says, look, no matter what's been going on, in terms of the challenges for me as a person, this is how I feel about you. And how I feel about you is that I really love you, and I want to be with you, and I want to share my life with you. Coming down here to Strength and the Eight of Cups, I feel these two cards reflect the future outcome for you in terms of where you're going. The Eight of Cups is a card that is about letting go, moving on. It's about the end of a cycle. I feel that there's a lot of obviously emotional investment here for you, but there is something that is missing that leaves you it's not so much about the fulfillment, but I kind of feel that you've learned everything that you can in this connection. There's no other grab there for you to get in terms of being able to use this experience constructively to give it more mileage in a way that gives this, I guess, the distance to realize something more. Strength is a card of enormous feeling. There's a lot of instinct and passion in Strength that rises to the top, but it's also a card that points to the idea of restricting that, refining that in a way that reaches new heights. For me, I feel that you have to control your feelings about this person in a way that says, I need to move on, I need to leave. And although I feel a lot of love for them, I just don't feel that this is taking me to where I want to go in terms of my further development, and that the time is over for me and that I need to move on. But I kind of feel that there's one more card here to really sum this up. Separation, time apart from your partner is on the horizon. And I feel that this kind of validates what I'm seeing here, that time as it marches on, that you will be the one who really needs to actually call the shot here and say that you have to leave in a way that is about growing and developing for you as a person, and to reaching new heights and reaching new potentials, not just in relationships, but also for yourself. And I think that this is going to be a very difficult process because you do have a lot of love for this person. I think it's difficult for you to make a decision at this point in time because you have so many mixed feelings about this person and what's going on. I think that you really care about them. You want to be there in a very supportive way. I don't think you want to leave them flapping in the wind, but at the end of the day, this isn't all about you. It's also about this other person, and this other person needs to stand on their own 2 feet in a way where they can define who it is that they are and what it is that they want. So I hope this reading has made some sense to you, and if it has, please feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. If you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. And on a final note, I release videos each and every week to YouTube, so feel free to browse the ones that I've already posted and keep an eye out for those that are up and coming. Take care, and thank you very much. Hi everyone, welcome to card number 4. This is your reading, and we're looking at where the future of this relationship or this connection is actually going today. So cards are on the table, and I'm ready to jump in. So let's have a look and see what's going on. And I am drawn over here to Death and the King of Swords, and I feel this bottom line here is very reflective of your process in terms of a timeline. At the top part here, the top line is your is the other person. But back over here to Death and the King of Swords, and I feel, this very strong sense that you have actually cut away from this person, that you have ended the potential of this connection moving forward in the past. And I think there's a number of reasons that I feel that you've done that. I think a part of it is that I get a sense that there's been a lot of pressure in this relationship or this connection, and I think that that's actually sort of gotten quite heavy for you in a way where perhaps you haven't enjoyed it. Just the kind of lightheartedness, the kind of fun aspect of it really feels that over time it has just become really weighted down, and the relationship is more of a burden than it is a joy. And a part of you has also sort of been going through a process of feeling just more and more isolated as time has gone on, I think to a point where you have really just withdrawn from this person in a way where I think you've just been heading in a very different direction. And I think probably for some time you've really felt that you'd be better off on your own, just to do your own thing, to have I think for you it's really also about having freedom to be the person that you are. The King of Swords is a highly intelligent individual, and this is very reflective of you as a person. I think you're quite a sophisticated person. Your character really needs to be engaged in a way where you're stimulated in all sorts of different directions, all sorts of different ways. I think you get bored very quickly in relationships, unless somebody is actually giving you something to challenge you, there's a tendency just to soak it all up, experience it, digest it, and you've kind of done it. My feeling is you've taken control here, and that you're the one that's actually said, look, I don't want to have anything to do with this anymore. And then coming up here to Justice and the 5 of Cups, and I feel these 2 cards here reflect the start point in the past of this other person. And I think this person has taken it really, really hard. I think that they felt that, breaking up with them was unjust or unfair. I don't think they technically understood why, this has happened. They certainly didn't want to break up. I think there's a lot of grief. I really feel like there's a lot of grief. The Five of Cups is definitely a card of grief. It's about the emotional investment between the both of you. There is also a strong sense that there is potential in the Five of Cups. There's two cups still standing. I think they've seen that there's something there between the both of you that perhaps really sort of ties you both together in terms of a bond that has some sort of hope or potential for the future. I think they've really wondered whether there's actually been somebody else being involved here. Three of Cups indicates three people. I think Justice is a card of really trying to weigh things up and get an understanding of what it is that's happened. And I think they've been very focused on the idea maybe that you have been seeing somebody else. I think trust has been an issue for this person to some degree, but they really just haven't been able to bring it into balance in a way where they've been able to get a grasp to understand why you've done this. And for them, they haven't had any resolution in a way that puts it into perspective and has helped them to get over it. If I just coming back down here to Death and the King of Swords, Death is an ending linked to a new beginning, and it's quite a drastic change. I think that there's been a lot going on for you in your world. I don't think it's just been about this particular focus with a relationship with this person. I think you've had a lot of things that have been going on that have also impacted on your world to really help you to make a decision. And I think you've been very decisive in that. The King of Swords is very astute, very intelligent, as I said before, but it's a card that really knows what it wants. It's quite black and white. It's not there to indulge anybody. It's not there to indulge itself. It will take action. It will take control of the situation because it knows what's best for itself. There is a lot of insecurity in the King of Swords, though. And I do wonder whether there's some trust issues for you. There's certainly some trust issues here for the other person in terms of them feeling that maybe you've been seeing somebody else or that something's happened that's a bit untowards. But I'll come back more to that later. Back over here, now down to the Chariot and the Seven of Pentacles. I feel that at the moment, though, you've changed your tune a little bit. I think you're really focusing back on what's been going on between you and this person in a way where you can see actually, with some time to reflect, that you've really invested quite a lot into this person over a period of time. I don't feel that this was a superficial connection. I felt that this was actually quite a significant bond that over time, this could be years. The Seven of Pentacles certainly is a contemplative card that reflects on what it's invested into. And there's a lot of growth in the Seven of Pentacles, which indicates that, there has been time past. And the other pentacle just to the right here is very indicative of the idea of reinvesting into what's been going on. So it's contemplative, looking back to what we've been looking back to the relationship, looking at ideas in terms of perhaps actually reinvesting into it. The Chariot is a card of focus. It's about willpower and it's a drive towards a successful outcome. It makes up its mind and it uses its willpower to get what it wants. You're a very strong-minded person. You've got incredible tenacity in terms of your willpower. I think you're somebody who knows what they want, and if you want it, you'll go and get it. You won't stop. If anybody says to stop, it's like, you'll figure it out one way or the other to achieve the result that you want. And I think at the moment you're sort of thinking, well, maybe I do want to be in this relationship. Maybe there is a future. Maybe I could make this work. Maybe I could constructively focus on this connection in a way that actually gives it a successful outcome. We've put a lot into this. Maybe there's an opportunity to take this forward. The thing is, though, coming up here to Temperance and the Five of Wands, I feel that the game has changed somewhat, though. I think for the other person, I think they've put themselves back out there. I think they've been through a very big. Temperance is a healing card. It's really about coming to terms with things. I think this person really loves you. I will say that. I can see that over here with the Five of Cups, and then over here with Temperance, the connection between the two cups again is very significant in terms of its symbolic linked to you. I think that they're trying to come to terms with things still, but it's coupled with the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands is really about, putting yourself out there in the social mix. I think that they're reconnecting with other people. I think this is somebody who is very good with people. I think they have a lot of friends. They like a lot of banter. The Five of Wands is definitely about putting yourself out into the mix. It's about banter with other people. But I get a sense that this is somebody who is socializing. They've kind of put themselves back out there in a way where they are seeing other people, I feel, definitely. They're trying to get over you. I wondered whether they've also met somebody, that they've met somebody who they've engaged with, who's been a really interesting challenge for them. So they could be seeing somebody else. But either way, I don't think they're taking it so seriously. I think they're playing the field a bit. It's more about the social nature of being out there with other people. I think, getting social validation to some degree, but certainly being out there in a way where they are having some fun and really trying to come to terms with what's going on, in the past with you. I wonder whether they are looking to travel. Temperance is also a card of travel, of going away, and the Five of Wands is a card of work. This person could have new challenges on the horizon in terms of maybe moving away somewhere else, traveling overseas, traveling to a new location in terms of work. But where's this going? What's the future of this connection? Now, coming over here to the Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Pentacles, I feel that this other person is going to move into a new phase in their world over the coming months. The next 3 months is very important, very significant. I feel like they're really sort of laying down a new foundation in terms of what's happening for them, really concentrating on getting grounded, working very hard in their job or their work career focus. The Wheel of Fortune is a card of the future, the next phase in our lives. It's the next stretch of time in terms of utilizing that as an opportunity to build on new developments. And I can see that this person is working really hard to kind of reestablish themselves. For me, this is about rewriting the future for this person. There's definitely a sense that they are seeing somebody else here, though. My feeling is that this person is laying down a new foundation with somebody else, but they still have a burning flame for you. The Three of Pentacles is definitely a card of new foundations. It's about working with other people. It can be about work, but in the context of this of this particular timeline, I feel that this person has moved on somewhat in terms of maybe seeing somebody else. I don't know whether that means love, but they are certainly trying to get over you in a way that actually gives them a constructive and established footing so that they don't feel that they are sinking. It's been a very rough ride for them in terms of trying to get over you. A lot of healing is going on at the moment. They want to move on in a way where they have themselves back up and running. They don't want to be a victim of heartache. And I think most importantly though, for me, coming down here to the Magician and the Eight of Swords, the outcome for you is more significant than it is about the other person holding a burning flame for you. Yeah, I feel that they will be seeing somebody else, but that they would still be interested in you. However, I don't feel that you are going to want to take this any further, okay? The Magician is about initiating action. It's about mustering all of your energy, focusing on what it is that you want and manifesting it. And it's coupled with the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords is a card that is about restriction. It's about not getting what you want because you feel manipulated by other people. It's a sense of being, I guess, oppressed to some degree. But, that's a heavier interpretation of what I feel is going on here. I think perhaps you feel that what you want is beyond your reach, and that getting involved will just open up a can of worms that really puts you back to where you started from in terms of feeling isolated in this connection. That you're not achieving what you want. You're not getting to where you really want to be. But the insecurity is definitely really a feature here. The King of Swords does have insecurity. It is a card that feels very uncertain about opening up to other people because it doesn't want to be hurt. It is a card that indicates that there has been hurt in the past that has really, force this person to divorce themselves of feeling. They don't want to open up at a vulnerable level because they are afraid that if they do, that, trust will be breached and that they will be hurt. And I kind of feel that that's very much the case with this person, is that to get back involved with them would not only not take you to where you want to go, but, it would potentially hurt you if you were to open up with this person. I've got to be honest with you. I don't feel the love here for you. I think this is more of a heady experience. It's more about the idea of a relationship. And at the moment, the willpower is very strong, in terms of the idea of refocusing on this relationship in a way where you could take it to the next level. I think on the other hand, though, for this person, this was definitely a case of love. And I think this has been a very difficult process for them. And they're still getting over this. And if they are seeing anybody, it's really more about a constructive focus to help them to get their mind off of you and to validate them in a way where they feel that they're okay as a person because they've had a really tough time. So for me, one final card, deception. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. Now that's, it sounds pretty heavy, in some ways, but I don't know that it's about the other person. I think this is more about you. And I think that this is an interesting card because I feel that the deception isn't on the other person, okay? It's about you deceiving yourself about what it is that you really want. The fact is that you made your mind up to leave this relationship and you were rock solid sure. It was a black and white decision. You moved on. So to focus back in on this, and the idea of the potential for the future, that is deceiving yourself. You've already made up your mind. And if you do go ahead, you'll just be wasting a whole load of energy that won't get you anywhere because it's not really what you want in the first place. Save yourself the time and the effort. Don't deceive yourself. Be honest with yourself. The reason why this connection isn't working is because you don't feel the love with this person deep down. But more importantly, if you are going to have a connection that is loving with somebody else, you need to work through the trust issues so that you can open up and experience that. Otherwise, it's never going to happen. I hope this relationship has made some sense to you. And if it has, please feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. And if you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is you can access my service. And on a final note, I release videos each and every week to YouTube, so feel free to browse those that have already been posted and keep an eye out on the horizon for up and coming videos. Thanks very much and take care. Hi everyone, welcome to card number 5. This is your reading and cards are on the table. This is a view to where things are going in terms of the relationship connection that you have with this other person. So, starting over here at the Sun and the Knight of Swords, and I feel, excuse me, I feel this other person has kind of spit the dummy at some point, and yeah, a lot of anger and frustration has really boiled to the surface. I think they've really questioned the direction that the two of you have been going. I think there's been, like a heated conversation about whether or not they are happy, whether the both of you are happy, or that this connection is heading in a direction that actually gives the both of you happiness. So lots of questioning going on there. I also wonder whether for some of you this was also this person was questioning the idea of children. The Sun is definitely a card of children, having kids. It's also a card of happiness and fulfillment and joy. So, it's kind of all rolled into one in that sense. The Knight of Swords is indicative of conflict and changeability. And I think that this person has had a lot of changeability over what they want or where they feel this is all going. So one minute they might be saying that they feel it's all good, the next minute they're saying that it's all bad. Maybe one minute they're on board about the idea of having kids, the next minute they don't want to have kids. The there's a definite sense of frustration there within this person, and I'm looking more to the past. I kind of feel that this can be quite a reactive person, that things can boil to the surface. They're quite a passionate individual, so lots of frustrations and sort of heated, I guess, conflicting aspects boil to the surface very quickly when they're under pressure. But the changeability, I think, is what really shines through for me here in terms of them being very polarized. One minute everything's fine, the next minute everything's not so fine. So it's quite difficult to be with a person like that at times. It can be very challenging to know where you stand because, it can go kind of blow hot and cold. Coming down here to the Lovers and the Five of Cups, and I feel you've reacted very badly to this in a way where I think you felt very disappointed. I think it's also forced you to make some sort of decisions about what it is that you really want. There's some soul searching there. The Lovers is certainly a card of intimate relationships that indicates love and a connectedness to the other person. The Five of Cups is a card of grief, of reacting to a situation in a way where you pull back in order to process, sort of, a sense of disappointment or a feeling let down. So I kind of feel that you've been through a bit of a process here, but at the same time, I think that you also have realized that you have loved this person and that you do want to be with them. And so you've kind of pushed forward in a way. I think at the same time, if I come over here to the Hermit and the Knight of Pentacles, I feel at the same time, it's that sort of sense of being once bitten and therefore twice shy. I think the fact that this person has lashed out, has become reactive, and that you've been at the sort of raw end of that has caused you to feel a little bit sensitive to what's going on. The Hermit is a card of self-reflection. It's about, an inward journey to find truth over a situation. It's also a card of trying to figure out where things are going for you, more broadly speaking, in terms of a life plan. And the Knight of Pentacles is a card of dependability, of sort of, underpinning circumstances with reliable factors that give you a sense of progression and reliability. And I think the way this person has reacted back here, in terms of where they're going in this relationship, maybe the idea about kids for some of you, whether they're happy or not happy, whether they want kids, whether they don't want kids, the fact that they've been angry, I think that has really kind of really forced you to look at what's going on in a way where you've kind of pulled back into your shell and you're trying to understand whether this relationship has a solid future and whether you can also depend on this person in a way where they are going to be there for you. But also, I think you're also giving them some time to prove themselves in a way that shows you that they, have what it takes to kind of, I guess, provide you with what it is that you really want in the future. If I come up here to the Temperance and King of Cups, this reflects where this other person is at the moment. And I really feel this is somebody who has really come to terms with what it is that's been going on. They've really pored over the connection with you. They've really considered your point of view. I think, the Temperance card is a card of healing. It's about moderation. I think they've really had a good look at themselves in terms of how they've been acting out, and they've really tried to heal the situation by being a lot more gentle and a lot more connected to you. Temperance, also indicates a strong connection between the two of you in terms of the two cups symbolically linking you in here. And I can see that also down here with the Five of Cups, there's two cups here still standing, but this person loves you very deeply. I mean, the King of Cups is the highest card on the order in terms of evolved feelings of love and tenderness towards another person. This is a very sensitive person, very caring individual. has a lot to give. I think they don't always find it easy to articulate that in a verbal way, but they certainly try to show you how they really feel. And I think that they've really tried to perform quite solidly in terms of giving you continuity by being much more gentle and much more receptive to you as a person. They really want to be together. I really felt that, this is somebody who would do anything for you. They really want to be together, very, very caring, but very reserved. And this is quite a shy person, actually. And, the tenderness really shines through in a way. A lot of healing energy here. I kind of wondered whether this person, was kind of prone to some sort of healing area in their life, whether they, a real sense of being able to give to other people in a way that really helps them, get back up on their feet. Temperance is a card of healing, and the King of Cups is a very heartfelt individual that has a lot of compassion for other people, very sensitive person. Where are things going? For this person, in terms of the outcome towards the future, I think they've really made their mind up. They want to be with you. The Chariot is a very driven card. It really is about making your mind up on what it is that you want and pointing yourself in a direction that takes you towards successful outcomes in terms of realizing goals, realizing what it is that you actually want in life. And it's paired with the 10 of Cups. And the 10 of Cups is a card of family and happiness and fulfillment. This is a really solid card in terms of, high vibrational energy, in terms of bringing people together, bringing a family together. I think they're very focused, in the future in terms of building on the love that they have for you in a way where they really want to settle down and have children, have a family. I think this is what would make them really happy. The Chariot is also a card that is indicative of housing. If you're not living together, I feel that this person will definitely want to move in with you, or perhaps it's about the idea of buying a house. I think for you, coming back down here to where you are, there is this definite sense of trepidation or reservation, of taking it one step at a time, not putting too much of yourself into what's going on here in terms of your connection to this person, looking more broadly at what you want as a big picture view. I think in the past here, this argumentative phase, this point of frustration in terms of what they want, their changeability, I think that's really caused a lot of disruption for you in a way that you haven't really recovered from. I think in one way you've forgiven, but if I look to the outcome for you in terms of where it's going for the future, I feel here with the High Priestess and the Page of Swords, there's a definite sense that you have a lot of doubt about this person now. The Page of Swords is a card that questions everything, and it's more of a cup half empty than it is half full. There's a tendency to look on the negative side of things, to look at what's going wrong. I think questioning things can be really healthy. I think you're a very analytical person. I think you're very intelligent. You do look at everything in a lot of detail. But sometimes I think there's a tendency to overshoot things and to think a little bit too much. And I think also you can get caught up on things that have gone wrong in a way where you find it very difficult to let them go, especially if you've been hurt. The Page of Swords is looking to the past, and what we have in the past is this disappointment in the connection between the two of you, which relates back to the frustrations of this other person. And I think for you, you're also looking into the future. The High Priestess is a card of the future. It's about looking at where things are going. And there's a lot of uncertainty about the High Priestess because nothing's ever clear about the future. And it's doubled up here with the Page of Swords. And so that is a really kind of an intensive negative energy that projects into the future based on what's happened in the past. So it's almost like you're kind of like shooting this up onto a screen and envisaging more problems in the future with this person. So for me, the timeline of the person up the top here, they kind of come from a point of frustration, a lot of changeability, maybe questioning what they want, in terms of the relationship with you and the idea about having kids maybe. Lots of angry frustration boiling to the surface. But then they've worked through this in a really sensitive and balanced way. They really tried to come to a point where they understand how they really feel about you. They've tried to heal themselves through this situation by confronting the fact that they love you, that they're devoted to you. And for them, the future, as far as they are concerned, is they've made up their mind. They want to have a future with you. They want to settle down. They want to have kids. They'll do anything to make that happen. They're such a driven person. The Chariot, I mean, there's so much power in this card. It's a very forceful energy. You know, there's nothing that will stop it, because the determination to realize what it wants to succeed in is right up there. You know, it can't be beaten. And they want to be with you in a way where they settle down and have a happy life. They want kids. But for you, much, much more difficult. I think that you're a much more reserved person. You take your time in terms of the way you process things. You are somebody who actually looks for the proof in the pudding. You know, you're looking for solid, continuity in terms of behavior, but also in terms of not only their expression, but, I think also there's a financial aspect to this as well. You know, the Knight of Pentacles is definitely about money and security and reliability in terms of having, the support that you need in order to have a good life. So a part of you is very, very focused on that aspect. But there's a lot of contemplation that looks back to the past. The Hermit also looks to the past. The Page of Swords is looking to the past. And the past is full of disappointment. And I think this still needs to be resolved, because I don't think that you've healed from this. How do you take this forward? You've got two different potentials here. Your potential is one that is undermining the future with this person. The other person has worked through it in a way where they're very sure about what they want. They want to be with you. Heart-to-heart conversations, honestly discuss your feelings with each other. This is the only way forward. I feel that you need to come out of your shell. You need to discuss what has happened in a way where you find resolution. But more importantly, you need to get back in your heart. I think there's a lot of self-doubt about what's going on here. I think this person initially undermined your confidence, but I don't feel that you have worked through it in a way that sufficiently gives you a sense that you can trust them. The Page of Swords has a lot of doubt. Doubt is the basis for trust. Trusting this person is the only way you're going to get over this hurdle to have the future that you could have in terms of the greatest potential to have, a happy future. I feel that it has a happy future, but the way to actually get to resolution is to be honest with each other, to trust each other. That's the only way forward. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. This is the way forward. I hope this reading has made some sense, and if it has, please feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. If you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. And just on a final note, I release videos each and every week to YouTube, so feel free to browse the ones that are already posted and keep an eye out for those that are up and coming. Thanks very much and take care.